Go on.
And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives,
Yes.
the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall all these things be?
Right, when shall all these things be? When is going to be the end of the world and the restoration of Israel? Acts 1 and 4. Go on.
And what shall be the sign of thy coming?
Right, and when shall be the sign of thy coming? So the disciples were asking, when is the Lord going to make his return? And this was even said in Acts 1 and 4. When are you going to restore the kingdom of heaven? What's going on? You understand what I'm saying? So the men of the Lord always inquired of the end or the coming of the Messiah, and always inquired when there was going to be the restoration of Israel. You understand what I'm saying? So what has changed is that lies have been fluctuated and evaporated on the earth. But guess what? The truth never really changed at all. It's just that people were misguided by false anointed ones that would come in the last days. Go on, brother.
And it says, And what shall be the sign of thy coming, and the end of the world?
And the end of this world. Go on.
And Yahushua answered and said unto them,
Okay.
Take heed that no man deceive you.
Right, and take heed that no man deceive you. Go on.
For many shall come in my name, saying,
Okay.
I am Christ.
Right, many shall come in my name saying, I am Christ. Now the word Christ, this comes from the Greek word, which means Christos, which means the anointed one. So you're going to have false anointed ones up. You understand? And guess what? He's the main anointed one right here. Yahushua. All right? But you're going to have false anointed ones claiming that they are what? Christ. Prophets sent from God. And then you had Muhammad that came on the scene, what is it, 600 years after Yahushua. There go your Islam. So you're going to have false messiahs and false anointed ones arising and deceiving many. Go on, brother.
Say, I am Christ, and deceive many.
Right, and you know what proves that? Because when you go inside these churches, there's a bulk of people that pretty much, stack up these churches, man. So it's this many. This is a prophecy that our Lord and Savior brought about to the disciples. Go on.
And you shall hear of wars.
And you shall hear of wars. Only hear of wars, brothers.
Hey, loads of wars, man.
Loads of wars. We're hearing about the Syrian situation.
Rumors as well.
Right, and rumors.
And rumors of wars.
Go on.
See that ye be not troubled.
Seeing that you may not be troubled. Go on.
For all these things must come to pass.
Right, all of these prophecies must come to pass before I return. Before Yahushua returns. All right? And who do we mean by Yahushua? We're talking about whom the world called Jesus Christ. Okay? We call him Yahushua. That's who we declare him as his name, as it is written in the Hebrew. Okay? Not no Christ and Yahweh ben Yahweh. That's not his name. His name is Yahushua.
That's it. Captain Pugwash, that.
Okay, and then we have more children again, acting like children. See? And this is in Great Britain. Go on, brother.
But the end is not yet.
But the end is not yet. So we're not at the end yet. Once all is fulfilled, then the end will come. Go on, brother.
For nation shall rise against nation.
Right, for nation shall rise against nation.
And kingdom against kingdom.
And kingdom against kingdom. So what you're going to have is you're going to have the Middle East rising up against the West. That's happening already. On a smaller level. What's going on? You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, we're in that time. We're in that time of the prophecy speaking out. But these individuals out here don't see that. They're in La La Land, Candyland, Disneyland, all type of illusionistic. Right.
And there shall be famines and pestilences.
Okay.
And earthquakes.
And earthquakes.
In diverse places.
In diverse places. And we get these earthquakes every so now and often. Even in the wintertime.
Even Mexico, Slaki, there was there's an earthquake in Mexico recently, man. All right, and Puerto Rico's getting shaken again, man.
Yep.
And who's over there? Ephraim and the Northern Kingdom. But the reason why, because they're wicked, man.
Yep.
They do kidnapping, drugs, guns, mausoleums. When their relatives die, they put them up. Mausoleums, idol worship. The Lord ain't happy with that, man. You know? So when he's not happy, he shakes things up via earth. Hey,
That's right.
and that's
right.
right.
And now we have another child at bay. Another child at bay.
A red one at that.
A red one at that.
You know why? Because it's getting evening now. They drink a little bit, you know.
So their faculties are not straight.
The demons as well. The demons jump on them and then
To walk this way.
Yeah.
They just they don't. Yeah.
And that's another thing too, because I mean I can't really take it too personal. It's like the brother said. The brother said that they're demons. So these are just nothing but demons. So if you're not in the truth, or you ain't been spiritually baptized with the word, then you're nothing but a demon, man. You're a dark spirit. These are just nothing but dark spirits out here, man.
Look.
Here's my point. See?
I let that one go.
That's
And that's a dark spirit.
That's a dark spirit too.
Hey, but that's what the Lord can do to you, man.
Mess you up. There's another spirit too.
An ugly one.
Yes, so read
Broke the
that.
camera, you bitch.
Okay. And it says here, all these are the beginning of sorrow.
Right. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Go on.
Then shall they deliver up to be afflicted.
Right, and that's talking about the men of the Lord, because in the last of the last days, at the end of it all, guess what? We're gonna be tried, and we're gonna endure that with flying colors, man. When the Lord is, we're gonna endure it in flying colors when the Lord is with us. Okay, we're gonna praise the Lord and we're gonna ask the Lord, be with us in that day, because we're gonna need all the power we need to endure the affliction so we can get on the other side. Okay, that's how we're gonna get. But the point of the matter is that we're going to revert back to 2nd Ezra 15 and we're going to deal with the calamities of this civilization. Because I mean, it looks bad now, but it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. You go on.
And it says, and shall kill you.
And shall kill you. So they're going to try and look for certain men of the Most High and try and kill them. But hey, the Most High said he's going to look to stand up against them. That means you're going to receive that unusual spiritual power. Okay? There's another guy looking around. Go on, bro.
And ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake.
Yeah, go on.
And it says, and ye shall be hated of all nations
Right, ye shall
for my name's sake.
Right, and we're the same men all over again. We're the same disciples all over again. When you read about Paul and Peter and the apostles, we're those same men, and they were hated back then, and we're going to be hated again. Okay, because they're going to put us on the media, and they're going to make us look bad. Oh, these guys, they said this and they said that, and the whole world is going to hate us. But guess what? The world is only doing exactly what's fulfilling the prophecy. Okay? Because Yahweh Shai said, look, no servant is greater than his master. So if we're servants of Yahweh Shai, and we're going to go do similar to what he went through. Okay, go on, brother.
And it says, and then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another,
Okay.
and shall hate one another.
Okay.
And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many.
There's your Christian churches. What is his name? Right. T.D. Jakes. James White, the Edomite.
Nate Satan.
Nate the Great Satan. The GOCC. All of these different variations of camps out there that's not teaching what we're teaching, they're what you call the false prophets that shall rise and deceive many. And then you got the Baptist Church, the Episcopalian Church, the Roman Catholic institution. All of these are nothing but false prophets rising up to deceive the many. And that's why these jokers have not a clue what's going on. They don't know their left from right and their right to left. Come on, brother.
And because iniquity shall abound.
And that's why, and we live in a world of iniquity. The word iniquity means a multitude of what sins? What is sin? The transgression of the law. So this society is engulfed in sin. Breaks every law in this book, this Bible. And that's why we have crazy people in the Western Hemisphere. Crazy, mad people. And you know what? It's so bad out here that you really just gotta just stay with keep to yourself. Because the only friends that I have are the men that you see around here. Okay, these are my only friends out here. I don't be riding around with these regular folks out here because I don't know what they're drinking. I don't know what type of Kool-Aid their mind is involved in, man. You understand? So I don't really deal with these regular people. I'm only dealing with these guys right here. Because these people are crazy as hell, man. Both down than ever before. Go on, man. You see it.
And the love of many shall wax
Right.
cold.
And the love of many shall wax cold. Because nobody loves each other out here. There's no love out here. It's just, I'm gonna just use you to get what I can get from you. Okay? And you can see in the air, you can feel it in the air, how most people don't like each other. And they'll tell you, look, you gotta love, you gotta teach love. God is love, but this guy don't even love himself. He's smoking a cancer stick. He's smoking a cigarette. He's not even showing an example of love, but yet he wants to tell you about love. Come on, man.
Alright, so and it says, but he that shall endure unto the end,
Well, but he that shall endure unto the end, go on,
the same shall be saved.
the same shall be saved. So we got to endure to the end. We got to endure all of the travesties that's going to come pursuant to 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. That's what we got to do, brothers. And pray to the Lord that he gives us the spirit to endure whatever cup we got to drink. You see?
That's it.
Go on, bro.
And it says, when ye therefore shall see abomination of desolation, Matthew 24:14,
Right?
and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness
Right.
unto all nations,
To all nations, go on.
and then shall the end come.
And that's happening right now, isn't it? That's happening right now. By the internet. So this word is getting out heavy, man.
Oh, he's gonna turn it. It's 8 o'clock anyway, so.
Don't do something like that.
Someone grab it.
Yeah,
It's solid frozen, man. My feet, I don't think I can feel my legs.
You'll be alright, brother. You'll be alright.
You get a new body in the kingdom.
Alright, nah, I still put my thermal socks on.
You can't, brother.
And we're in that stage of preaching to the end. And what did you say? You said it. The word will go out. The word will go out to the world, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's. So if it feels like a chart of a timetable, that's the time we're in.
Yep.
All those things, wars, rumor, war, they've happened, man.
Yep.
No.
That's right.
Why do you think America's not pulling out of ISIS? You know what the excuse is? Well, we don't want ISIS to come back,
Right.
so we're going to stay wicked, man. But they're doing it because they need a place right next to Iran.
That's right.
Syria is Iran.
And you know what as well, like the brother was saying, because you got what is it, man? You got Israeli military in the line of Syria today, stationary.
Yeah.
So they already getting prepared. You saw the video where Benjamin Netanyahu, he holds up this thing,
Oh, that bomb thing, yeah?
right? That bomb thing from what is it?
UN.
Right, the Iranian thing.
Oh, the nuclear deal.
Right, the nuclear deal. Right. So he was holding that in the air to declare to his people, look, if Iran does something silly again, we're gonna blow them. We're gonna blow them up.
Yeah.
That's what Benjamin Netanyahu was saying. So this war is intensifying. It's increasing. You see?
And they both was there, actually. They both was at that conference. They had this meeting.
Yeah.
And Netanyahu said what he said. When the Iranian spokesman came up, he just said, listen, we'll only use it in self-defense. Don't try us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they're not backing down.
No, they ain't got time for that, man.
They're not backing down, man.
Yeah, so I'm gonna finish with the brother left off at. So it says, this is on Matthew 24, verse 13. And because iniquity shall abound, and the love of many shall wax cold. And it says, and many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. And that's what we have today in 2018 and beyond. We have a multiple amount of churches around the world that's pretty much got people all caught up in the hype that God is all love. And that God won't do no hurt, and this and that and the third. And that's why people, they have a misunderstanding of the Most High. They have a misunderstanding of God because they think God is just, you could just push him over. You could do what you want to do.
Look where you're going, please. Demons, man.
You know what I'm saying?
You know.
And that's just the whole deal.
Just keep walking.
Demons.
Yeah, she's
Just keep walking, man.
She's probably on her
Keep
phone.
walking with your weave, man. Just keep walking.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, people already got things misconstrued. But what they're gonna find out is that God is gonna show hate. Okay? Because we preach love too, but we also gotta preach hate when we're supposed to. That's that balance. Okay? And it says, this is Matthew 24, verse 15. When you therefore shall see the abominations of desolation spoken of by the prophet Daniel, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place. Okay, now that's talking about 70 AD, something that happened 2,000 years ago when we were ransacked out of the land of Jerusalem. And then we went into the shores of Africa. The Jews fled into the shores of Africa in 70 AD by the Romans. Alright? But that same scenario is going to come back all over again. But worse. Because our people, they're not going to know where else to go. Okay? So we're going to get that in Luke. Let me see. Luke 22. And I haven't did this in a long time now. Eating and speaking at the same time. Here it says. Right. This is Luke 21. Verse. And just bear me for 1 minute. Right. Here it is right here. This is Luke 21. Verse 23, it says, but woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. For there shall be great distress in the land, right? And wrath upon this people. So there's going to be a great distress on the land and a great wrath upon this people. And mainly, in particular, is the nation of Israel. Because really the Most High is going to aim the destruction at them. That's why when you read the book of Isaiah 33, if I'm correct, okay, the Lord likens it through the prophet Isaiah as the time of Jacob's trouble. Because the trouble is going to aim at our people. But guess what? The elect out of Jacob is going to be saved out of it. There comes your servants, the prophets, the men whom you see live and direct on the streets of Great Britain and other streets around the world. Okay? So it says, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captives into all nations and Jerusalem. And that happened in against 70 AD. Okay? But let's read up a verse. Luke 21, right? This is the one I wanted to get. This is Luke 21, verse 8, and it says, and he said, take heed that ye be not deceived, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and the time drove near. Go ye not therefore after them, but when ye shall hear wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass. So I want to look at that word commotions in the blue letter. Just spare me for 1 minute. I want to look up that word commotions in 21.
Toad's coming back now.
Yeah, I might just read this scripture and we're going to close out on this one.
Oh, yeah.
This is about that time. Yeah, so we're going to get... it's cutting close. Okay, we're going to get...
Just looking at that shit. You know what I mean? Just looking at it.
4 minutes. Yeah, back we go back. 4 minutes, good.
Yeah, it's a white man with a camera, yeah. Or if you're a white man, they would put down a tissue and say they would put over it, you know what I mean?
Sorry, it's
See,
going
look,
to that
show
close
respect.
up.
Thank you very much. See, show respect. That's a good. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. But that's a sign of how wicked our people are, man. That black bitch came by and just walked there, man.
And the nigga done it as well.
Yeah, and then she had an attitude on top of it, man. That's why Jake has got Edomite women, man. Yeah. It's a little thing. Yeah. Hey, but look at all that side of the plate, man.
I mean, it's just ridiculous, man.
That
It's
shows you
ridiculous.
the average Israelite woman is a demon. She's a demon, man. She's not gonna take any. And you remember those shows like that Party Week? You know,
Yeah.
No, but you know what I'm talking about.
Go back to
No, but you know those shows. It's always black women arguing and this.
That's all right.
So you see the music they keep on his channel when they were fucking.
Yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look at the word commotions.
Yeah, it's some bad jungle music, man.
So what I'm gonna do is this. Let's go.
Oh yeah, she's a tenor. Your girl goes yes every night. She goes yes every night. Out of my
Taz.
So here we are right here. Okay, Luke 21 and 9. So I'm gonna go into the interlining. Alright, so the right here we are right here. This is Luke 21 and 9. And the word there is akatastasia. My Greek is not that good, so bear with me. So it says the outline biblical usage is instability, a state of disorder, disturbance, and confusion. So that's what's going to happen in these cities. The main cities that I named, mainly America and Great Britain. We're going to be in a time of great instability and disorder. All right, so we're going to read the scripture. We're going to close out with that.
Right, this is Luke 21 and right, this is Luke 21 and 9. And it says, but when you shall hear of wars and commotions,
Right, when you shall hear wars and commotions, go on.
be not terrified.
Right, be not terrified. So we know and acknowledge that's going to happen because we've heard about it, we've read about it, and guess what? It's going to be made manifest into reality. A great disturbance is on the way. And people will see it right through martial law, when martial law is declared. And I haven't been going into this topic for a long time, but now I gotta recap on this topic again. Okay, because martial law will be declared real soon. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna end the show to the Lord. And I like to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. And with that, brothers, you know, you stand strong, keep your feet firm. As it stands right now, we at the end of this world. We're not coming towards the end. We at the end. Things are happening. Stay strong. So with that, shalom.
Shalom.
Kwam Yashala.
You can see that's why Jake is getting with everybody. He's in that office. Think about it.